Well, howdy folks, welcome back to Musical Miscellany. You know, recently I posted a video for National Kazoo Day where I showed you my entire kazoo collection, and a lot of you liked that. And by request, some people asked, can you show us your entire CBG collection? So that's what today's video is going to be about. Now, when you talk about a cigar box guitar, that's an interpretive thing because some people say it has to be made out of a cigar box. Some people can say it's anything homemade. So I wasn't sure where to draw the lines here. So what I'm doing is I'm eliminating my lap steels, any ukuleles I've built, and any dulcimers that I've built. I'm eliminating those for today's video, but I am including basses because I only have 2 basses, so figured what the heck. But, so there we go. Let's get into this collection. First up, this was the cigar box guitar that started it all for me. I went to a cigar box guitar festival several years ago, and this is actually made by a fellow named Smokey Joe. You can see his logo there on the headstock. This I did not make, but this was my first cigar box guitar. It's a 3-string fretless. Got it at that meet, and that's what started me into this hobby. Then this is the first one that I actually built myself. This is the Tin Pan Alley. You can see this flame job, and ironically that was the first time I ever tried to paint flames, and it came out remarkably well, so I realized that I can paint flames. This is the Mountain Tenor. My family gave me this as a present one year. I remember if it was Christmas or birthday or what it was, but they gave this to me and I built it. And what's funny is this was my first 4-string, and this is the CBG that has gotten the most use. You've seen this more than any other on my channel. Okay, and next is the Goof Off Canjo. This is a 2-stringer with 2 strings tuned in unison. And this is actually kind of a funny story. If you remember from back in the day, my wife actually locked me in the backyard one day, and I didn't have my phone, I didn't have anything, I was just stuck out there. I didn't even have shoes on. And, but I had a bunch of stuff in the workshop, and I made this while I was locked outside. So this is my only 4-string fretless slide CBG, and I rather unimaginatively named it the Slider. Next is the Pizza Paddle bass. This was my first attempt at making a bass. You can see it's a 2-stringer, and this thing sounds fantastic. Like, I've actually did a video where I compared this to some actual store-bought basses, and it hangs right in there. It sounds great. Next is the Hobo Fiddle. This is essentially a short scale cigar box guitar. I think it's got like a 17 or 19-inch scale, something like that. But it's a standard 3-string GDG. And I really like this one. It's really got a neat sound to it. Next up is the Texas Twanger, and this came from, I got this cookie tin, and I was like, I gotta make something out of it because I love the looks of that cookie tin. Ended up making this Diddley Bow out of it. Now, I guess technically you could probably call this a banjo because it does have, like, you know, a resonator here. But it's really a Diddley Bow, and it's really unique. I just used a scrap piece of what I had, so I forget exactly how long the scale is on this, but it's like 18.5 or something. Like, it wasn't, you know, made to be. It just kind of went together, and it is what it is. Next, 2 more 1-stringers. This is the Diddley Fork, and this is the Diddley Spoon, and these came together, and I actually did a video with these called Cutlery Jam, if you remember seeing that one. But what happened is this was a wooden spoon that got thrown away, and I ended up turning it into this really tiny little Diddley Bow, and it's actually really hard to play because the scale is so short, but I did manage to get a pretty cool video out of it. This was a broken pitchfork. You can see the end here where the pitchfork broke off, and I turned the handle of the pitchfork into an instrument, call it the Diddley Fork and a Spoon. Next, we've got another guitar that I did not make myself. This was made by Steve Strings in San Antonio. This was part of a swap that we did, Texas Triangle Builder Swap it was called. This was a guitar that he made for me, and it is awesome. You've seen this in a lot of my videos. Plays fantastic. Next up, we've got the Hubcap Howler. Now, this is a kit that CBGs sells, and this was one of the prototypes that they sent to me to build. That was very nice of them, because I'd done a fair amount of work with their organization, but they sent me this for free to build. I put it together. I really like it. Came out great. I tuned this one DGBE, which is called Chicago Style Tuning. It's very unique, got a great sound, and I've gotten a lot of use out of this. Okay, next we've got the second bass, and it's kind of awkward to handle here on the screen, but this is the Washtub bass that I built. You can see the electric preamp here. This is fully electric Washtub bass. It's a little dusty because it's been sitting out in the garage, but this is a heck of a lot of fun. It's got a weed whacker string, and this is the other bass in my collection of homemade instruments. After that, I went back to the roots and built a Canjo from the American Canjo Company. These are great little kits, and this one has the Gunpowder Can, but you know, they've got a number of different aesthetics that you can do. Super fun 1-string. Speaking of 1-string, here is the 10-minute Diddley Bow. I made this in the garage in 10 minutes. There's a video for that. Actually, so in its final state that it is today, I went back and painted it, and that of course took longer than 10 minutes. But the original design, I just threw together a bunch of parts that were in the garage, made an instrument in 10 minutes. There you go, there it is. It sounds badass. My most recent thing in the stable, this is the paddle chugger. It's a 2-stringer with a giddy bucker pickup, and it's made out of a canoe paddle. Again, sounds fantastic. Wasn't expecting that, but it really does sound good. I think this is the most recent build that I've done, which means I probably need to do another one. But there you go. That was my entire CBG collection. Again, I excluded banjos, dulcimers, and lap steels from that. Additionally, that does not include the guitars that I sold or gave away, and I went back and looked through my builder's log, and I've given away about 10 guitars. So if I hadn't given all those away or sold, either sold or given away, there'd be another 10 in there. But anyway, that's just kind of the way it goes. But there you go. You asked for it, you got it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for tuning in.